So as we talk draft, the exciting part of it is at number 4, it could be Travis Hunter. He would need to fall to them.
Yeah.
Because in front of them, 1, 2, 3, they're lucky that the Titans, Browns, and Giants all need a quarterback. Free agency hasn't worked for them. But the Titans very well, as we've heard Mike Borgonzi come out and say there's generational talent in this draft. We're not going to pass on that. Generational talent is Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. It's Cam Ward can be great. Shador Sanders can be good, but they're not the generational guys. They're going to take one of the two, possibly. If they take a quarterback, can the Browns justify passing on to Travis Hunter? If they go Shador Sanders, can the Giants justify that? Do they go Abdul Carter? The Patriots basically at the end of the day want to end up with a Carter or Hunter.
Right.
If they take Travis Hunter, or they're facing that possibility. We didn't get great in the offensive line room via free agency, but Travis Hunter's in front of us. That's the challenge they face. Do you take a Will Campbell, who's wingspan, all his measurables, he's an anomaly as a tackle prospect, or do they go Travis Hunter, who's an anomaly in the best way possible of an overall football prospect?
We're talking about the Titans, right?
No, talking Patriots at 4.
Patriots, if they take... See, priority to me is like they could use a Travis Hunter more, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of speaks back to like what we're saying, like a guy that's going to grow with this team, but like also going back to the fact that he made it so clear he wants to play both positions. You have to have the right coach to guide you through that so that you can actually be beneficial to the team. And seeing as how Vrabel, did both sides of the ball back in his day a couple of times, I think that he'd have the right capability to manage that to where he'd be an asset to the team. Because a lot of teams and conversations that I've heard and seen is that it would be better to prioritize him at CB and then kind of give him like a proper package for wide receiver, but he wouldn't do heavy lifting for wide receiving. Yeah. They would use him in very specific situational football. So I think he would benefit in terms of what he's saying that he wants in the Patriot system with a coach that can give him what he wants, but also make sure it counts bigger for the team.
Yeah.
The fall down, I think, it's getting a little bit more attainable in my brain because it sounds like Giants jump to 1, grab Cam Ward. It sounds like Sanders, like you said, like the top couple teams, they really need a quarterback more than anything else. And Titans wouldn't mind strengthening their defense while they're trying to figure out what their offense is going to look like moving forward. I think there's still too many question marks for the Titans offense, whereas here it's Drake May, here what the vision is, here what the timeline is, 3 to 5 years, and Hunter can probably slot into that pretty decently.
Yeah. What's tough is at that 3 spot, say if Giants jump up from 3 to 1, that means Titans would be picking 3, Browns 2. That's a tough of they have that need at wide receiver. They have that need in the cornerback room, but they have that huge need on the edge. If Travis Hunter, if he falls to them at 4 and they're faced with, we don't have a left tackle, but Will Campbell's there, but we don't have a wide receiver 1 and Travis Hunter's there. And to you point out, and it makes sense too, it's harder to play offense full-time, get dropped into defense because defense is all about communication, being on the same page, knowing what you're
different.
Running. Yeah, you make a mistake on defense, that's when someone's wide open, especially on the back end of the defense, and that's when plays get blown up and you're just blowing coverages and it can lead to much bigger errors. You make a mistake on offense at wide receiver, you run the wrong route or something. I mean, he's still a sick athlete. Throw the ball in his vicinity, he comes down with it. He's likely to be a full-time defensive back, and then they bring him in on money downs, I always say. Red zone, goal and short, 3rd down, 3rd and short, even 4th down too. And you can go in and go, run this route, go here. This is what it is. Just worry about that one thing. You don't have to know what everyone else is doing. Right. You just have to know what you're running. It makes sense. If they draft him, they are getting a really good slot cornerback full-time, which is in the modern day NFL, you need 3 good coverage corners. And then they're getting Garrett Wilson whenever he's on the field at wide receiver. And I just think too, with how deep the draft is at defensive line in the middle of the pack, 2nd, 3rd round. This draft does have a lot of tackles. They just don't have that sheer elite blue chip tackle you take top. With the 2/3 they have, with the 38th overall pick, they could go Travis Hunter at 4. They can live with sitting on a tackle, then trading back into the 1st. If it's a Arante Ursary, if it's a Josh Simmons who's doing well with his knee, he's going to hold his own pro day, as he's saying. So that means he's recovering well from that surgery. To face Will Campbell and Travis Hunter, again, I just go, if it is Travis Hunter's there, I think they take him 10 times out of 10. I think they have to. Even if Will Campbell's there, even if Mason Graham is there, even if Armand Membu's there, the guys that they may be linked to, the guys everyone's saying they should draft, you can't pass on Travis Hunter. And it's also like we're talking about this, how I'd play him as a rookie with Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a full-time receiver his rookie year, or full-time corner his rookie year, as we're saying. They could flip him to the other side of the ball.
Right.
Like and say he doesn't work out at cornerback. It's, you know what, he doesn't really have it. All right, you have an elite receiver. Say he doesn't work out at wide receiver. All right, you have an elite corner.
Yes.
And then as Carlton Davis comes off the books, they're going to extend and pay Christian Gonzalez a lot of money. As he comes off the books, they're going to extend and pay Travis Hunter a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's where it works out, where the flexibility he gives with cap space, the flexibility he gives with the roster and depth chart, and the flexibility and just the dynamic he adds to defense and offense. I would not pass on Travis Hunter. I don't think they can at all. I just, if they did, then it's like
It would be
like
something.
cars on fire. I'm not trying to incite. I'm not trying to incite a riot.
You're not motivating anything.
I'm not saying you should
don't
do that. You
think.
shouldn't do that.
Don't.
But if people did, I would be shocked.
Okay. You wouldn't participate.
I would not.
Either. Okay.
That's just dumb.
Just
I'm gonna light my car or other people's car. That's rude to those people, and like I don't want to get
it's
arrested.
that whole
either.
nose face thing that parents always told you growing up. But no, I couldn't agree with it more. It's a better business decision for one, and it gives you so much flexibility. And actually, everything you just said there just brings me back to what you mentioned about like wide receivers and the contracts that they get coming out of these rookie years. Like he has the capability to actually grow and solidify himself here. Whereas like if he ended up at a Titans, like 3 years later, he couldn't be sure that they're going to lock in pay for him.
Yeah.
And because of the versatility, because of the two-way play off the ball, like they might have a different need in 3 years, and that's going to play with his pay. Whereas like here, he's needed on both sides. He can be usable in both ways, or if he ends up switching to full-time one or the other, the money is still there, the opportunity is still there, and the need is still there. You can't say that about too many other systems at the moment. And then also the fact of like, if you had to choose which position to go younger in, I'm going to go towards wide receiver.
Yeah.
The relationship between a wide receiver and a quarterback, them just kind of being in the same pivotal moments of their career, I think plays out better. Whereas like you and I talked about this when it came to the Andrews conversation. A veteran on that offensive line is going to help take him to the next step a bit quicker than the young guys. They've already had young guys they've been trying to insert in, and then injuries kind of played a plague to the situation. So getting somebody who can come in and kind of anchor that faster sooner rather than later, I think is more of a priority. So you don't miss out on a business opportunity, versatility, and something that's going to play out in a long-term business scheme to go with another young offensive lineman.
Yeah.
They don't have the development at the moment.
And it's just, again, there's more depth at the position where he can be an elite. His ceiling is an elite wide receiver, and he has all the measurables: 6 foot plus, 190 pounds plus, long arms,
Athletic.
as a corner, and insane athlete, really good hands, really good catch radius, really good at contested catches, great on the boundary, great in the red zone. And then as a corner, really good covering the slot, and has 31 plus inch arms, like insanely long. And that's, you get your hands on the receiver first, knock them off the route, disrupt their timing. That's what it's all about. He can play zone. He can play man. At wide receiver, he can play inside, he can play outside, and he can do everything for you, run all the routes, and his speed. That's a thing of like, he's elite at both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Where Will Campbell is, he could play left tackle, but he'll likely be a guard, and that's what all the measurables say about him too. That's a tough part. And for a guy that was playing full-time receiver, full-time corner, and scouts say he should be a corner in this draft, he had 96 catches, over 1,200 yards, and 15 receiving touchdowns. Like
Big
he put up
plays.
top 5 numbers at wide receiver nationally, even bringing like the Nick and Ashes of San Jose. And then he was one of the best corners in football too. Like, won the Heisman, won the defensive awards, and I think you can't pass on him. And I don't think, as much as Mike Vrabel is emphasizing the trenches, they see Travis Hunter, I think there's no way he passes on him either.
No. And plus, think about this. Elevating your defense when you're in a rebuild, you're going to make yourself that much more competitive because at least you're protecting yourself while you're trying to figure out how to get points on the board. You're protecting yourself from getting steamrolled on the other side.
You can get stops.
Exactly. So I think that helps tremendously. And then you just described it perfectly. He's a big play guy. He can make things happen. You've got a quarterback who's finding his footing, but also takes those risky plays. And I thought I saw some good things out of Drake May in the preseason previously.
Yeah.
I feel like there would just be an instant connection with those two having fun on the field that would make things matter.
Yeah. He just raises the ceiling and the floor of the offense so much.